After seeing this thing bounce while driving down the street, make sure to check out the eBay link down below. This famous lowrider will sell at no reserve to the highest bidder. Resurrecting an abandoned and once famous lowrider Fiero has been an absolute blast, but my ultimate goal has always been to get it running and driving with working hydraulics. I've never sat in or driven a car with hydros before, and in this video I finish everything to make that dream a reality. If you haven't already, check out the previous Fiero lowrider videos linked down below. They'll answer a ton of your questions, and it's seriously been one of the most fun video series I've made. And if you appreciate a good old-fashioned car video with a guy in his garage fixing a very broken old car, consider hitting that subscribe button. This is bad. Nasty. Nasty. Oh my god, no wonder this didn't work. Look at the sock. Gross. Alright, let's take a look at this fuel in here. Oh yeah, this is not fuel any longer. This has morphed into something else. It smells 100% like varnish. And this is what happens after gasoline. I mean, this could be 5 years old, could be older, who knows? Oh, look at all that stuff. Oh, this is so bad. So the fuel pump was probably coming apart. This is some rust. Just nastiness. We gotta get this all out of here. So all of the garbage at the bottom is from the fuel pump kind of coming apart, the strainer and the sleeve around it, and then just rust that's built up on these steel lines for the fuel sending unit. And normally I would replace this entire thing with a new fuel pump and a new strainer. It's only like 150 bucks, but it's on back order. Who knows when it's gonna be in again. And we got to get this thing rolling. So I'm going to replace the fuel pump and the strainer. We'll clean this up. It'll look really good. Honestly, I think it'll be fine. Oh, yes. Woo! Pretty gross. Pretty gross. Wow. Well, I'm glad there wasn't too much fuel in this tank. Look at this. Oh, making a mess, making a mess. Stuff does not smell good at, wow, really making a mess in here. This is, garage is gonna forever reek of the Fiero. Look at this stuff. It's not gas, it's varnish. Get in the funnel. Look at all the sediment and rust at the bottom. Not good, not good. I'm gonna venture to say the fuel injectors are not in the best of condition. All right, guys, well, this is very, very tedious work. I basically keep on pouring a little bit of gasoline in there to slosh things around, and we are getting just a ton of debris, but I am getting somewhere. This is where we're at right now. So that is kind of the little bowl area that the fuel pump will sit. This is seriously taking a very, very long time. I have been at this for about an hour. I've had a rag in here just kind of wiping stuff up. That is what it looks like. No like access panel to really clean it out. So anyway, fuel pump is going in, and this is going right back in the car. I should probably clean up some of these spiders though. Look at this. All right, I'll give it a little bit of a cleaning. All right, time to add a little bit of fuel, and yes, the cap is painted orange with the flake. All right, here we go. Here we go. Aha! It's running. And it died. It ran though, it ran. Let's do it again. All right, cool. Give it a little throttle. We're good to go. It is running on its own fuel system. No more Clorox wipes for a fuel tank. All right, I'm not hitting the gas at all. It is running horribly. All right, there you go. We went live. Oh yeah. All right, what do you guys think? Is it running on 3 or 4 out of the 6 cylinders? This is so bad. But to be honest with you, I'm not even gonna dig deep into why it's misfiring. It's gotta be the fuel injectors. After seeing that fuel, there's no way they're not clogged. All right, so I have the upper plenum off so we can replace the nasty fuel injectors, and the reason I haven't completely removed this thing from the car is because this EGR tube right here may snap off if I try to do that, and I do not want to open up a can of worms. I think we can finagle this fuel rail and these injectors out as is, but yeah. My suspicion of these things being bad, although not verified right now, I think is a very good possibility. Look at how rusted these things are. It is disgusting in here. Guys, I don't know. It could have been a decade since this thing ran. I really have no idea, but in here is pretty gross. This is the fuel pressure regulator. God, I'm gonna assume this is bad, but I think what we need to do is just get this entire rail off right now. This line needs to come off. These 2 lines here need to come off, and take a look at all the troublesome vacuum lines that are underneath the plenum. So if you're chasing a vacuum leak on one of these, probably taking the plenum off to figure anything out at all. Oh, and someone modified this. Check it out. This has a Holley throttle body right here, and there's something written on the fuel rail. I can't really tell right now, but it doesn't look factory. So anyway, let's get this entire contraption off and take a look at these nasty fuel injectors. Yeah, it says something. It says something right here. I don't think this fuel rail is stock. I have no idea. Oh, it just says MPFI, multi-point fuel injection. It's kind of just a weird thing that GM would write on a fuel rail. So, I don't know. Maybe it's aftermarket. Maybe it's just a cool factory fuel rail from the 80s. Either way, it's coming off. So, guys, this is what I have to go through filming, all right? I want to show you guys that I'm turning this, but this hose is perfectly in the way. All right, there you go. It's turned. Oh, look at that angle. I'm a pro. All right, so I think this thing is ready to come out. I've never seen a fuel rail with just 2 bolts. There's one right over here. This hose, of course, is in the way. And there's one right here. And that's it, and it is kind of loose. So this should pop up, except holding the camera. Not gonna help, not gonna help. Hang on, guys. Okay, I've been prying at this thing forever. I have these 3 injectors popped out. I'm prying right on the injector not to destroy the rail because we're replacing the injector, so I don't really care about them. But this is just frozen in here like crazy. Come on, just do it on camera, please. Please do it on camera. No. It's not gonna happen, guys. I'm gonna stop recording and then it's just gonna pop right out. Come on. Oh, let's do this. Come on, rail. So supposedly this thing only has like 40,000 miles on it, according to the cluster. Not that that means much, but I kind of don't doubt it. You don't really put too many miles on a lowrider. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh yeah. Oh, this is good. This is good. I guarantee you guys have never seen anything as bad as this. Oh my God. Look at how dirty this is. Now, granted, this was all around the fuel injector, but it's not a good sign, guys. It's not a good sign. So I need to be really, really careful. I think I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna get a vacuum cleaner and we're gonna suck all this out before it all gets into our cylinder, but just gross. All right, just a little bit of brake clean. And then I'm gonna use my injector bore cleaning tool, being very mindful not to get anything inside of the cylinder. So this tool is perfectly sized for this bore. We're just gonna clean it up a little bit. And then we're gonna vacuum up the debris around, again, to make sure it doesn't go down inside of the hole. And I'm gonna clean this off in between every injector bore. And this is a really, really cool kit that I bought for my old diesel Mercedes, but it works well for a ton of other things, and you can use these Q-tips to really fine-tune things down there. This will be in my Amazon garage, link down below, with a bunch of other cool tools. Oh, and speaking of links down below, check out my AMSOIL website. I'm not sponsored by AMSOIL at all. I buy all of my own stuff, but I recently became a dealer. I get a small percentage of sales, which helps with things like car insurance and little stuff for the garage. And because I'm a dealer, I now get to offer you guys 25% off, and AMSOIL has a phenomenal website. You can create your own garage, which helps you keep track of all the maintenance on all of your cars. They list all the fluid capacities, torque specs, and they sell everything from synthetic engine oil to antifreeze to flushes, brake fluid, wicks, filters, which are really good quality, and it's simply the best out there. So I'm also going to leave you guys a link to a Project Farm video. He's not sponsored by anyone either, and he tested their synthetic engine oil against everyone, and it came out ahead. So I've been researching this for a couple years and decided to pull the trigger, become a dealer, and switch all my cars over. And so many of you guys have done the same, so I appreciate everybody who's already signed up to be one of my preferred customers, or just to buy retail from the site. You can do that as well. I see each and every one of you who have signed up, so I really, really appreciate it. It helps support the channel and keep projects like the Fiero and 3 new projects that I just bought going. So anyway, back to the video. All right, I cheated a little bit with the drill. This tool is perfect. This end blocks your bore, and this cleans all the way around it. So just plug up the hole next to you and look at these results. That is clean. Well, not around it, but you know, the part that matters. All right, so I'm ready to remove the old injectors, and this has kind of an interesting clip. Most of these just pry out, but this one, you actually turn it just like that. See that? You turn the clip. Weird. Then once you turn it, in theory, the injector should come right out, but these are probably very frozen. Hang on. Come on. Oh, there we go. Got it, of course. The O-ring is stuck inside. All right, and the old nasty fuel injectors are out, and take a look at the rust buildup in the fuel rail. Pretty bad, pretty bad. So I'll definitely clean that up before our new injectors go in. And I must say, the Fiero community is awesome. Big thanks to Winged Horse Garage on Instagram. He hooked me up with 6 remanufactured injectors and a little Fiero model. Oh, and this fuel pressure regulator diaphragm can go bad, and then the vacuum hose that connects here will suck up gasoline right into the intake manifold, and it'll run really rich. Ours was not running rich at all. It actually was running, aside from misfiring, it was running pretty clean. But all you need to do is, while the engine's running, you take your vacuum hose off of this and just put it right up to the nipple and see if you can suck any fuel out. Or another way to check the diaphragm is just simply to get in tuned with your car. Yep, it's holding vacuum. That is what I'm talking about. The Fiero runs good. It's got a vacuum leak. It's idling a little high, but it's clean. It's clean. Check it out. Woo! It is not misfiring at all. The fuel injectors totally fixed it. We basically have a new fuel system now, a new distributor. It's really idling high, but whatever. This is awesome. Now we can move on to getting it driving. So I'm using a little bit of the you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back with the Fiero, moving that we don't move on to replacing other parts until the Fiero rewards us. And in this case, the engine is running, so we're gonna move on to making it drive, which is gonna cost a little bit of money. That's why we haven't done this first, but we have to get the clutch pedal to work. It just slams right to the floor. It feels like it's not even attached to anything. And I'm gonna go ahead and replace the master cylinder for the clutch system. I think this is the issue. And then the bleeder on the slave just broke right off, so I gotta replace that as well. Only about 80 bucks actually, so not a lot of money at all. If this makes the rear wheels move and this car looks like it's gonna drive, I might even reward the Fiero with a new air filter, and I might even install a belt too. You never know. All right, well, our first problem with getting this thing to drive is we have the wrong master cylinder. So we have a line that goes in over here, but we need one that goes in right here. So wonderful. All right, I found an auto parts store that supposedly has the right one. So let's do this with one hand and lose the nuts. Should pull it right out. There we go. And here she is. So this, oh wow, it's just completely broken. See that? Yep, done. All right, so out of like the 6 part stores near my house, only one had this. Yep, seems to work good. And that doesn't. Nothing super exciting about this install. It just goes back in the same way we took it out. This line is gonna go here. We got a couple of nuts. So let's get back to the slave, replace that, and then we have to bleed the system. All right, getting to the nuts here is a total pain, but this thing should come right out. There we go. And let's see, there's a bunch of fluid in there. Oh. And yeah, here is the little push rod. And we're really just replacing this mostly because the bleeder just straight up broke off, as you can see on the top, but I'm sure it's bad as well. All right, so here they are side by side. I transferred the push rod. We have a brand new rubber boot. This one has deteriorated, and I had to torch the bleeder and the line out of the bottom, but I'm glad I did. I used some heat because that's still a little hot. We didn't mess up any of the threads on this guy right here, which is really, really important. I don't know where to even begin on finding a line like this for a Fiero. So just like the brakes on your car, we're gonna open up this bleeder. I will push the clutch pedal all the way down. Then we will close the bleeder and repeat that a few times until there is no air. All right, slave is installed, adding a little bit more fluid. And I actually lost my assistant, so I'm doing this by myself, no problem. These things work really, really well. Just a basic pneumatic air sucker, and it's connected right there to the bleeder. Let's see, oh yeah. All right, clutch in. Saw over there, I'm assuming this is a one tire fire, but I saw that wheel moving a little bit. I'm gonna assume this did something, and yeah, cool, let's move on. A little low, just a little. I don't hear it leaking anywhere, that's good. Now the thermostat was out of this thing and laying back here. I think it's just an open thermostat right now. It's filling that block up. Oh, there we go. To move that water around, we have a brand new serpentine belt. I had to loosen up the alternator to get this on. I set the tension pretty nicely. That's good to go. We got a new fuel filter on the car. We definitely have to replace the air filter. This is the nastiest one I've ever seen. And I have to issue a little warning to you guys. If you're replacing an air filter that has this metal mesh around it, be very, very careful. It's hard to see, but right here where the two parts come together, it's basically a bunch of little razor blades Took it out of the box, immediately sliced my finger. So just be really, really careful where this kind of netting meets, right there in the middle. Very, very dangerous. Look at what's inside of the airbox. Nasty, nasty. All right, good as new. I gotta say, I'm glad it wasn't this one that cut me. I'd probably be in the hospital right now. And let's see if I can do a Fiero intake tube with one hand and one damaged hand holding the camera. All right, that'll stay right there. The engine compartment is put back together. Now let's fire it up. So now we actually have a good clutch pedal. And it fires right up. Decent battery voltage. Sounds good. I hooked everything back up, so no more vacuum leak, no more misfiring. Listen to that. We have a belt now. It idles down really nice, no smoke out of the exhaust. Guys, this thing is ready to go. It sounds amazing. It feels good to have done all this work. I think I've replaced probably 10 bad parts. They were legitimately bad parts, and now she's back. So without further ado, let's back this thing out of the garage and go for a ride. First time. Woo. Tell I'm a rookie at this. Woo. That's as much three-wheel motion as I can get. Riding in my Lolo, hitting switches. All right, so everybody told me to tap the switches. Wipers. Come on now. Oh no, it's not working. Okay, stop. Well, my fun was kind of short-lived. All of a sudden we started getting some clicking from back here. There are 4 really big starter solenoids, they look like, just clicking away no matter which switch I hit. So I gave the motor a little tap similar to what you do to a starter motor, thinking maybe there's a dead spot and this thing is on its way out. And I saw a little puff of smoke, I believe come from the motor, so we are done. We are done. I think this motor at the very least needs to be taken apart and rebuilt or replaced. So I've disconnected our ground so we are safe, because we have like 48 volts here. It's kind of dangerous to leave connected at all times. Man, was it fun just driving up and down my street, only for about 5 minutes, hitting switches. We started having problems, and when you run into problems with a car with 4 batteries and 48 volts of electricity and smoke, that is when you stop, okay? So I would want to just basically take apart this motor. It's probably very old. All right, I just tried it again. We're definitely getting a little bit of smoke from the motor, so it is shot. It's done. It needs a rebuild. Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed that we didn't get to go for a much longer drive while hitting switches in the Lowrider, but I reached my ultimate goal of resurrecting this abandoned Lowrider Fiero, so we got it running, we got it driving, we got the hydraulics working while driving. Granted, it was only at like 5 miles an hour, but that's what you do in a Lowrider. You creep, you hit your switches, you do a little 3-wheel motion if you can. Didn't really work out for me, and you have a good time. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video series. It's a 4-part series. I'll leave the playlist linked down below, and the first 3 videos are with John from Watch JR Go, and yes, we will be collaborating on some more videos in the future. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, share the video, subscribe if you're new, and most importantly, have an awesome day. I gotta say, this thing does look pretty sweet just sitting on the concrete.